Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Hazink here, and today's video is just a wee bit of fun, to be honest. Recently the PlayStation 2, which is one of the greatest selling consoles of all time, it actually might be the greatest selling console of all time, recently turned 21 years old. 21's a milestone for some people. If you were a person, you'd go and celebrate your 21st birthday. So let's celebrate the PlayStation 2's 21st birthday by having a bit of fun. What we're going to do is we're going to run down the top 10 PlayStation 2 games according to Metacritic. This one's quite funny, guys, because some of these games are just like, what? Why are you in the top 10? Anyway, happy birthday, PlayStation. So starting off at number 10 in the list, again, this is Metacritic's list. We have the classic Devil May Cry, the first game in the series. And do you know what? Great game. I'm not going to argue with it. It's a fantastic game. A lot of people have got a lot of love for the Devil May Cry series, and this is the first one that spawned the entire saga. Now, Devil May Cry 1 is definitely better than Devil May Cry 2. I'm not so sure it's better than Devil May Cry 3, to be honest with you, but it is the only Devil May Cry series that appears on this list. So it basically says that going with the time it was reviewed, this was the best Devil May Cry game on the PlayStation 2. It got a Metacritic score of 94 with a user score of 8.6. So coming in at number 9 on the top 10 PlayStation 2 games on Metacritic, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. I must admit, I was mad for Tony Hawk's when I was younger. I loved the game. I'm not so sure that Tony Hawk's 4 was my favourite. I think it might have been 3, but don't worry, 3 appears on this list. I won't spoil where it is on the list, but it's definitely on the list. Tony Hawk's was an absolute phenomenon. I mean, it really was. The soundtrack was banging, the tricks were amazing, the combos you could link was absolutely fantastic. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 was probably the last one that was truly great before it started to dip and started to go off the boil, and it never really quite got back to the level of the earlier Tony Hawk's games. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is on this list with a Metacritic score of 94 and 8.4. So you could actually say it's tied with Devil May Cry because it's got the same score, it's just got a lower user score. This is the first surprise on the list. Coming in at number 8, we have Madden NFL 2003. Confession time, guys. I am Scottish and I know nothing about American football, so I don't really know if this was a good game or it wasn't. I'll need someone who is old enough to remember the PlayStation 2 era to chime into the comment sections and let me know, does Madden NFL 2003 deserve to be on the top 10 all-time best games for PlayStation 2 according to Metacritic? That has a Metacritic score of 95, but a much lower user score of 7.5. So maybe that's telling me that the critics were a little bit kind to this one. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Okay, now we have a biggie. We have a good game that's appearing on the list, and it's number 7 on the list, which is Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Gran Turismo is obviously the flagship racing title for the PlayStation, and Sony have always put a lot of effort into this title. It's always been fantastic looking. I mean, when you look back now at the PlayStation 2 game, it doesn't look that great, but at the time it was revolutionary. It looked amazing. The physics handling of the car and stuff like that was well ahead of its time, so I can understand why that has got such a high score and it's done so well on this list. And it sits at number 7 with the same score as Madden NFL, 95, but it's got a much higher user score of 8.4. So number 7 on the list, according to Metacritic, is Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Next up, we have another one that's got 95, but this one deserves to be higher on the list if you ask me, and that is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Yes, that's right, Tommy Vercetti cutting about fake Miami, that being Vice City, reliving Scarface, driving around listening to the absolutely fantastic 80s soundtrack that is the Vice City soundtrack. This game obviously got great scores and great reviews from critics, and it sits at number 6 on the top 10 PlayStation 2 games of all time. Personally, I would put this one higher, but this is not my list. This is the list according to Metacritic. It's got 95% Metascore, and it's got an 8.8 user rating, which again, the user rating's a bit low actually. I'd probably have expected that to be a little bit higher. So continuing on this train, we have number 5, which is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, I know a lot of people, some will argue Vice City is the best, some will argue San Andreas is the best. So it's funnily enough, both of these have got the same score, 95. But this one has been placed at number 5 on the list for Metacritic. It's got a user score of 9.1. Obviously, people who have played the game will remember CJ cutting about, Boys in the Hood style, little bit of gangster rap action going on, and a bit of gangbanging and stuff like that. This one was also notorious for having the hot coffee mod, which I'm not sure if it was on the PlayStation 2. I know the hot coffee mod was available on the Xbox. I don't know if it ever made its way to the PlayStation 2, but at number 5 on Metacritic's all-time PlayStation 2 list is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now we have a change in score. We have 96. And number 4 on the list is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. This is the one that bait and switched people, where you thought you were going to play as Snake and you pretty much mainly played as Raiden. Again, a lot of people are hot and cold on this one. I know a lot of purists didn't like it because you didn't play as Snake for the majority of the game. And it was more or less the same idea as the first game. But this one is obviously beloved by fans of the series, but again, not everyone is its biggest fan. They wouldn't necessarily rank it above something like Snake Eater, which unfortunately in this list, I'll tell you now, it has been ranked above Snake Eater, so there you go. Coming at number 4 on Metacritic's list is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Next up, we've got another big game. We're entering the top 3 now, and that is number 3, Resident Evil 4. Some people would probably say this is the best game on the PlayStation 2. Originally it was made as an exclusive for the GameCube, but with the GameCube not really doing as well, it ended up getting ported to other platforms. So Resident Evil 4 is number 3 on the list, coming in with the same score as Sons of Liberty, which is 96%. It basically revolutionised Resident Evil. It changed the point of view that you played from, it changed the style of the game. It kind of brought a little bit more of an action focus onto things rather than being pure survival horror, and it's some of the best set pieces that people remember from Resident Evil. So Resident Evil number 4 is number 3 on this list, and it's probably quite a good ranking for it. Now, again, number 2 on the list. This one's quite a jump actually. This is 97%, and I've got a feeling it's because of when it was reviewed rather than it being a better game than the previous ones. But it goes to Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 3, the original 3D Grand Theft Auto that launched on PlayStation 2, that clearly helped sell systems and cement the PlayStation 2 as one of the greatest consoles of all time. It comes in on the list at number 2. Personally, it's not as good as San Andreas or Vice City, but those games are only so as good because they learned from this game. So this one comes in at number 2 with 97% on Metacritic's all-time PS2 game list. Metacritic score of 97, user score of 8.4. Number 1. Number 1's a bit of a surprise. You might have figured it out by now because I did mention that it appears on this list. Is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Now, I loved this game. I absolutely loved this game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 was absolutely fantastic. It brought in line a lot of the modern things that we now know about the Tony Hawk series. It's a great game. It's got a great soundtrack. But number 1, according to Metacritic, it is the number 1 game of all time. It just goes to show you that maybe putting your faith behind Metacritic scores is possibly not the best way to go, because you can clearly tell that they don't necessarily age all that well. And I mean, to have it shown that the #1 rated game of all time on the PlayStation 2 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 just tells you that video game ratings are a little bit whack, shall we say. But yeah, that was just a trip down memory lane, guys. Again, if you've got any fond memories of the PlayStation 2, was it your first console? Was it one of your first consoles? What was your favourite game on it? Drop down below in the comments, let me know, let's get some interaction going. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Bye.